County Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to ask the Sheriff Gooden to say a prayer tonight.
Absolutely proud to. Dear Heavenly Father, we come here to a meeting, and we pray that you give the people and the folks the right questions to ask, also give the folks the right answers to make. Help them make the best decisions they can for Scott County. Please continue to pray for the folks that we're trying to heal from addiction that's in recovery. We're continuing to work with that and continue to need your help, as you've helped us tremendously, and you're the reasons it's happened. In the name of Jesus Christ, I say this prayer. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate it. First item on here will be Baker Tilly. I would like to keep with that, but I would entertain a motion to amend the agenda and move Vienna Fire up to right below them because Mr. Case has been at several meetings. I think we can get his problem resolved pretty quickly for him.
I'll second it.
John Miller with a motion, John Collins with a second. All in favor? 7-0 on that. So, if you guys want to start, Jason. Yep, you're welcome to come up here if you want.
Thank you. Jason Simler, a partner with Baker Tilly. I know one of the things we want to talk about is just talk to the council about potential services that we can offer, similar that we did last year on the updating the comprehensive financial plan and any budgeting assistance that you need. But before I did that, I did want to do one other kind of housekeeping requirement, if it's okay. We assist, as you know, the County Redevelopment Commission with their annual requirements. And something that we've helped them with every year is, just like the county council has to file financial information on Gateway, your AFR, the Redevelopment Commission has to file information each year as well. And that's nothing new, but this year, what the legislation required is that information needs to be presented to the county council. So we were going to do this last month, we postponed it. So I thought since I was going to be here, I'd go ahead and do that tonight as well. So again, just to kind of check the box off for the Redevelopment Commission. But again, this is information that the Redevelopment Commission is required to file on Gateway. On page 1, just list the name of the TIF areas that you have outstanding. The Northern Scott County EDA, which is the Austin Tri-Hawk, and then the Central Scott County allocation area, which is the fiber. So those are the 2 TIF areas that you have outstanding. Below, we also list the name of the members. And this is, again, just like your AFR, it's looking at historical, so 2023 information. Page 2 looks at the amount of revenue that was collected in the expenses. So $340,000 of tax increment was collected in the Austin Tri-Hawk TIF area. Spent a little over $900,000. You can see in the central area, about $1,400 was collected. No money spent there. Page 3, we just allocated, broken out those expenses between capital outlays, other services, professionals, and then, as you know, there's still bonds outstanding on the Austin Tri-Hawk TIF area. Page 4, we're required to list the account balances. So you can see there at the top how much money that's in the allocation account for the Austin Tri-Hawk TIF area, and then how much money is in the Scott County Central TIF area. And then below that, as I mentioned, there's the 2014 bonds outstanding. You can see there's $561,000 of principal and interest outstanding, and it matures in 2029. And the next 2 schedules just shows the parcels that are in each TIF area. So the next page is the Austin Tri-Hawk TIF area. You can see the parcels that are there, and you can see that at the far right we capture about $32.6 million of assessed value last year, and that's what generates the tax increment. And then you can see the next one's the REMC, Jackson REMC. Right now we capture about $147,000 of assessed value, and that's going to grow as, if you remember, county gave them a tax abatement. So as that abatement rolls off, you'll capture more to be able to do more, I think, road improvements, other capital projects out in that area. So, again, just wanted to kind of meet that requirement and go through that, with you, but happy to answer any questions.
We were asking in the meeting, redevelopment, my name's not on there, I'm supposed to be on there too, but that's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
That's on at 23.
Was it?
Anyway, they talked about investing some of the money, like putting it in CDs,
Mhm.
so we could draw interest off of that.
Right.
Can we do that?
Yes.
You can do that?
You can do that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yep.
That way we can build more money to invest if we need to.
Exactly. Mhm.
Okay,
And, I'll be at the Reno Commission meeting next week to
okay,
go over the annual TIP report.
Okay.
So, that will be looking at the future. This is all historical, but that'll be future.
okay, thank you so much.
So there's no questions, then, again, with me is Susan Cowan. She's, I know you know Paige Sampson that helped the county a lot last year. She works very closely with Paige, and she's on vacation this week, so I brought Susan with me in case there's any specific questions on the budget assistance. But we just wanted to come here and really just ask or answer any questions that you might have, to see if you wanted us to update the comprehensive financial plan this year, and then also assist with any budgets assistance that you might have as well.
I think we just did that comprehensive last year, so, I mean, what's your else feelings on that? Do you wanna update it again, or? It's good for 3, the projected, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you typically have done it every other year. So it really just depends on it. We looked, a lot of your general fund was, much healthier than what we anticipated. You collected about $2 million more than what we anticipated in revenue, so wasn't sure where that additional, part of it was interest earnings we saw. I'm not sure where we haven't really taken a deep dive into that, but, the other funds were a little bit less than what we anticipated, but overall.
Within reason.
Mhm.
And I think the only one that was in question was maybe EMS. Whenever we did it, their numbers were off on that a little bit, but, I mean, we pretty much know. Do you feel comfortable with moving forward with that?
Yeah.
Maybe look at it next year as updating again.
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate.
And then as far as budgets, what's the name of that software again? ClearGov.
There we go.
So we bought that, and DeAndrews started working with it, and that's kind of the plan, is to try to incorporate budgeting time into that, where department heads can see it more real time and help with building budgets as we go, which we're just starting that process now for the county, but, so I really don't know if we would need assistance just yet or not. I mean, something we could look at if you guys think we do, or do you think we can handle it in-house with that?
You would have the option, you could engage with us to be sort of there on an as-needed basis.
Okay.
That way we could at least
That'd be good,
kind of
that
incorporate you
way.
into our plan for the year, rather than, put out fires at the
Right.
last minute, if we sort of had an idea up front, but, because there's no set level of assistance we have to provide. It can be simply advisory, it can be review, it can be answer some questions, hey, does this, estimate look right? So there's a whole range of assistance we can, but if we at least know via an engagement that something might be coming up, that would be helpful, we'd be there for you at that point.
And when are we we decided when we're starting budgets, are we starting them in
Like-
June now?
Or around, our part will come in more like end of August, September, because you should have them by then, right? The estimates back.
I think
Because
I
it
would
involved
be
the
interested in
final
trying
review.
to do kind of almost what we done last
I
year.
would like.
Because we've got new programs that we're not completely familiar with yet.
Really.
And I think that was extremely helpful last year, having somebody there that can answer them questions. And like me, I'm just 1 year into learning how to do these budgets. And I
What about
felt
like-
real good having somebody there to help.
What about like maybe like she said, like a final review
Or I
schedule
think
time
maybe
to set with
do an
them?
engagement and then just watch, like you said, when we have a question, we can call you and just determine what level we'll need at
Yeah.
that
I think
point.
that
We
might
can
be
discuss
better.
how much time something might take if you need more
Yes.
assistance, and where that would put you on the spectrum, because it's not a set fee, it's a time and a
Right.
material sort of thing.
If we sign a new engagement, will you need this agreement for the purchase or the merging of your guys' company back,
contract.
since we're gonna if they enter into a new
I
agreement?
would go ahead and do that, just because we work with the
Yeah.
county redevelopment
Other-
commission.
Several different.
Yeah, and, I mean, like I said, I've
We're
worked with you for
definitely gonna
over
need
20
to-
years. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's not the budget, I mean, there'll be, you guys can always call us for anything. If it's,
Okay.
and we don't charge every time we pick
Yeah.
up the phone call.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else for Baker Tilly? What Heather was talking about, Jason, if you wanna sit down, you can, you ain't gotta stand up on my account. Last meeting, we talked about the merger that they were going through and how we got a new contract and
It's not really a new contract, it's
It's kind of
just
the same.
asking us to basically reaffirm the original agreement we had with them.
which
And
was
what I
from
wanted to do was
2020.
email and get the original agreement, cause it's referenced in this, letter that they want us to sign, basically acknowledge that they're undergoing some kind of buyout or merger. And that we're okay with continuing under that 2020. So I got a copy of that engagement letter and it's fine, it's what you guys entered into in 2020.
But from your perspective, you're gonna still work with me, Paige, Susan, nothing's gonna change from your perspective.
But I'm assuming as part of your purchase agreement, then
Yeah,
Yeah,
whoever's purchasing part of it
Everybody knows.
wants to know that those clients are gonna continue on those same
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah.
So I would entertain a motion to allow me to sign the new merger agreement with Baker Tilly and I think it's H&F Waterloo Holdings is the new
I'll
name.
second. I'll make a motion.
Lindy with a motion and John Collins with a second. All in favor of that? Any opposed? Pass 7-0.
If you're gonna send that back with them, I would suggest making a copy. so
Yeah,
we
that's
have
what I
it.
was gonna ask, so they can,
and for the comprehensive financial plan, I think that's fine, especially since, well, I'll defer to him again, we've had some conversations, but again, in the past, we've done like kind of every other year, so I think not doing it this year, and seeing how it goes and maybe updating next year, I think that's
Sounds
definitely
fair.
reasonable. And if you want us to kind of have an agreement, for kind of just calling as needed, we're happy to do that
Okay.
too. Because like Susan, last year was kind of like our first year,
Yeah.
really new, it was kind of like, I don't wanna say it was a Cadillac plan, but we did a lot. This year,
Yeah.
we may not need to do as much.
okay.
We were a new bunch last year too.
What's that?
We were a new bunch last year.
Yeah, yeah.
We were all
You're
learning.
further down the road, so maybe more of you, less of us.
We appreciate your.
Yeah.
Very much.
Very much your help.
Thank you.
Do you want us to send you a new agreement for that?
You can probably, it'd probably be the best way, I think.
Okay.
That way we're both on the
Just
same
do
page.
time and expense and
That'd be
then,
fine.
We can set it not to exceed, we may not even close to not to
Yep.
exceed on
I
that.
think that'd be
so.
fine. And then that way we can advertise it and do it all appropriately and have it on the record to where,
That's fine.
like you said, we're not putting out fires. And she'll make a copy of that and then you guys can have the original and take with you if you want.
Okay.
Good to see you as always. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming down.
is there anything else that, it's been a while since I've been down here, is there anything else that you're thinking about or needing as far as your
Not for me, I
concerns
don't
with
think.
plan?
I don't think that, at this time, I think, unless somebody's got something that's on their mind,
Well,
I appreciate it.
yeah, if you know how to get a hold of us. if you
Keep a
do,
copy.
we're
Yes,
happy.
sir.
And then who's
Thank
gonna
you.
make the
Thank you,
original?
Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda will be you, Mr. Case, for Vienna Fire Department.
So you guys be safe going home.
See you next week.
Oh, thank you, bye-bye.
Deandra,
How are
do you
you,
have
sir?
a,
Oh, not bad.
have the commissioners already approved all that?
Just to reiterate, we're back on the record about the, fire department roof down at Vienna Fire. I think the commissioner said there were some opioid funds that could be used to help you guys get your roof replaced. They are looking for a
Andrew.
resolution for me now, I believe.
Yeah, but it's got Andrew on it also,
So it's the
The
same
IT.
resolution as well.
so this one.
Okay.
So the 37,787 is for Vienna Fire Department, and then the 19,243 is for IT Andrew Campbell's.
We can just cover this
website.
part and then we'll come back to it whenever.
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
It'd be fine.
That'd be fine.
So in front of us tonight is the Scott County Common Council Ordinance 2024-33. And whereas it's been determined that necessary to appropriate money that was not appropriated in the annual budget, the Common Council of Scott County, the new lines of budget for Scott County is hereby created and located under Fund 1238, locations 9615 and 0068, number 32004 for this one, and 4245, I believe, for the one for Andrew. But that will be for the amount of $37,787 to go to Vienna Fire Department to replace their roof on their building.
What was that total again, I'm sorry?
$37,787. I would entertain a motion to accept the capital outlays from opioid in that amount.
Is that coming out of the restricted or?
What is it? It doesn't say. Unrestricted, I believe, is what it has to be.
I second it.
John Collins with a motion, a second, John Miller. Any questions, comments from council members? All in favor? Any opposed? And any abstain? 6-1 abstain. So we'll get that taken care of for you, sir.
Alright, I appreciate it. Yeah, I just have a question. Do I turn the bill into the treasurer's office? Is that what I do when it's completed?
Or does it go through, it'll go through
Our
them
office.
and they will process it?
You bring it to our office.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, alright.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Diane.
Diana? So she's gotta transfer it in relation to appropriation.
Oh, what's the resolution? Sorry about that. Thank you very much. How are you, ma'am?
She has a transfer and an additional appropriation, so there should be an ordinance behind that.
Is there a line creation? for that?
Behind it, yes.
It's a
Yeah.
monthly.
Okay, 434. Alright, so tell us a little bit about what you mean.
In my original budget approval last year, I was approved for $15,000 for insurance for my employee out of reassessment fund.
Right,
When it got advertised, it only advertised for $10,000.
okay,
So I get to come back because of that.
gotcha.
Yeah. So in the meantime, her insurance is a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. We have a restricted sales disclosure fund, which Lisa works mainly with our sales disclosures, so I can actually take that out of there. I haven't taken anything out of that fund for a couple of years, so there's money in that fund, so I would like to use it out of that fund instead of the reassessment fund where I originally had asked for it.
Okay, so on here is the transfer first, and it is resolution 2024-4, in which we're asked to transfer two different amounts, $3,000 from 1,000.4200.0000.0008, and then 2,500 from 1,000.307.000.0008 to the equipment purchase line. It's a total of $5,500. I would entertain a motion to accept the resolution.
I'll make
And
that
that's to
motion.
pay for your insurance?
That is for a copy machine. I have it in equipment line that wasn't,
Yes.
it wasn't even supposed to be there evidently, but I do have 3,000 in an equipment line, and then I have 2,000 in an extra line that I could put together. But my 12-year-old copier died, and I needed a copier. And so I combining two things on that one to get that.
I'd make a motion to.
Jonathan White with a motion,
I second it.
John Miller with a second for the equipment purchase of a copier. All in favor of the transfers? 7-0 on that.
Jump off behind.
And then on the ordinance and line creation for the additional appropriation, that is ordinance number 2024-34. And this is for the insurance, right?
That's for the
Okay.
insurance.
And it is coming out of personal services line, or going into the personal services out of your sales disclosure fund in the amount of $14,000. I would entertain a motion to accept this ordinance.
I'll make that motion. Second it.
John Miller with the motion, John Collins with the second. Any questions or comments from the council members?
What is this for?
The insurance for an
Oh,
employee,
Okay,
so,
I'm with you.
and it's going into her personal services line to be paid. So, all in favor? 7-0 on that.
Who was the second on that?
John
Oh,
Collins,
okay.
yeah. Alrighty, we'll get you taken care of. And one last thing, I think we need to create a line for that, right? 'Cause it says
I
a
think
new
it's a part
line,
of the
so that's
ordinance.
okay? You're
Yeah.
good with that?
Yeah, it should be listed there as to what line we're creating, I think it's in the,
It's in the ordinance, we just didn't read it.
I think it's there, just,
Yeah.
the fund number, double one, we're just changing that one or something.
New lines for budget.
It doesn't say.
Located under fund. Yeah, it's creating under
it's a-
fund
there's a-
1131.
Already a personal services, right, in hers? Here, I'll let you look at it.
it's, so it isn't in in that particular fund, there isn't, but for general and in your reassessment there is.
Okay,
Because it's on her.
It's a sales
Real
disclosure.
sales disclosure, there's
Yeah.
not a personal.
yeah,
service number.
but we're good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, thank you very much.
guys.
Thank you, Diane.
Next up will be Visitors Commission, Russ Comer.
Thank you.
Got me that number in there.
What's your number on it?
That will be, sorry, that would be
35.
number 35.
35. So this will be for the Visitors Commission and the Innkeeper's Tax Fund, and is determined to appropriate money that was not appropriated in their annual budget by the common council. Expenses of the taxing unit following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated for the funds named and for the purposes specified, subject to laws governing the same. And it is the Innkeeper's Tax Fund moving or additionally appropriating $55,100 to other services and charges. Do we know what this is for?
That is, remember, that's basically the rest of the innkeeper's tax.
For this year?
That, cause at budget, we appropriated, or we budgeted, we approved, I think,
Right.
100,000, and so this is what was left out of their innkeeper's tax. So this is just giving them the rest of what, their money.
Yeah, so
But I
they
was
were,
under the understanding that once we allocated this money for all these sponsorships and grants, that additional money was supposed to go towards advertising for radio and television to bring people in here for those different events.
And that is their plan for this
That's what their
additional.
plan is for this money.
Yes, and the Visitors Commission is now going to give us, I think, every month or every month of
which they did
report.
the last time, they did.
They did
come
give
in
us a
and-
report.
We just
last
got
time.
one recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send that, did I give it to you? You have it? Okay. I'll send it tonight, if I haven't.
So with that, it's on ordinance 2024-35. I would entertain a motion to accept the ordinance to release their $55,100 from the innkeeper's tax to other services and charges.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
John Collins and Lindy second. Any questions or comments from the council? All in favor? 7-0, I think that's it. Sheriff, you're up. It'll be sticky tomorrow, right?
Yeah, sheriff's.
Where you wanna start with?
Whatever one
See,
you
we
got.
got 36, this one will be the additional appropriation for tires, parts, other services and charges. So it's on ordinance 2024-36, and it would be out of lit public safety. The sheriff's requesting an additional appropriation of $75,000 in supplies under tires and parts, and then other services and charges, two different line items, 40,000 in one and 10,000 in the other, for a total of $125,000. And I would entertain a motion to read this.
Did you put that, it was in the uniform line, the other 40? Okay, I didn't hear what you
It
said.
just says other services and
It's
charges.
supposed to be, it's the uniform line,
Well,
so.
the exact line is tires and parts is one, uniforms is the other, and then the drug buy fund is the third. So
Okay.
10 is the drug buy fund, 40, I believe, is the uniform, and 70 is the tires and parts.
Yeah. So it's 75.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that 5-digit second number that's the account.
Gotcha, I see it. John Collins has a motion. John Miller with a second. Any questions or comments from council?
Yeah, we're gonna, I mean, is this just all one?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Do we wanna do these separately? Because you can, I mean, we can read them off separately and do them tires and parts. Now we know one's uniforms, one's drug buy.
Well, the only, that stuff's, I don't know about that, but the drug buy fund, I don't know why, somebody needs to explain why there wasn't $1,000 put into that during the last budget process.
There,
I think
there was, but I think by statute, you have to have
maintain a
you have to maintain,
Maintain $1,000.
you have to maintain a certain amount of money. And so I think there was amount
Which-
appropriated, and now we need to basically replenish that.
Yeah, it just needs
So-
replenished, usually it's
so
handled by the
it's-
commissioner.
It
Yeah,
has to
and
stay
so
a certain
now-
amount.
And so now you're asking for 10,000.
Yeah, it's a
So,
replenish.
yeah, it's a
So,
replenish.
DeAndre, is that transfers, cause he's got postage, printing, Department of Toxicology to the drug buy fund,
Those
or is
transfers
this?
are transfers that we didn't need approval for, those were within series and we've
Okay.
taken care of.
So we transferred 4,100 to it already?
Yes,
Okay, and then another 10,000 is on top of that?
Yep.
Our total would be,
and that 4,100 was to cover
14,000.
an immediate need,
Mhm.
cause they had a,
okay. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
There was transfers there on the drug buy one, so we got those done because they were in sequence with the auditor's office, and then the other is a additional request for 10,000. So I would say, let's work through these, on the drug buy fund. Anybody have any other questions, comments? Alright, all in favor of drug buy fund, $10,000? 701. Alright, and then the next one up is uniforms, and there was no transfers into that, right? It's just
Correct.
a request of $40,000 from Lit Public Safety into uniforms. And what was budgeted for that, do you remember?
$1,000 was budgeted.
Is that what the request was for?
I do not have those papers with me.
No, we requested the same amount we had the year before, so, on that, so.
This is your worksheet that we worked off of, so Lit Public Safety uniforms accountable, we requested 1,000 and we gave 1,000. Is what was requested whenever we did budgets.
Okay, I'm not sure if it is, I haven't seen it, but you know what I'm
There you
saying?
go. You can look at it. That's just what the auditor's office gave us, that's how we work through budgets.
It might have been one of the places I was gonna try to save money, you know what I'm saying, for the pay raises, so that could very well be in. And we was gonna transfer the monies around, you know what I'm saying, once we was trying to save on other things, so. Cause like I said, that's the first time I've seen it, I don't know what that is, so I'm saying it's not completely accurate, so.
I understand. So, any other questions or comments from council on the 40,000 request? Is there anything, do you have to have 40? Can we do any less
Yeah,
than that?
no, really, probably gonna need more than that.
For
Because,
uniforms?
it's bulletproof vests too,
Invest.
so that's the
Yeah.
big cost.
Okay.
It's the uniform.
Is there any
stuff.
grants out there for those?
We're trying, we get them, you know, we got some already, and then of course there's limits on what we can get.
How much are
We can't
those
get through
now?
I think they're around, off the top of my head, you know what I'm saying, around 1,500,
You guys do the outer carrier still?
yeah.
Are you still running the basement where you have all the uniforms in
We
the
have
basement?
quartermaster, yes, that's the uniform stuff, yeah, and that's replacement stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you
Yeah,
were still
yeah, no,
doing
we
that.
do, absolutely.
If it's for vest, I mean, you got 11 people, $1,500. If you replaced every one of them, that's quite a chunk of change right there.
Yeah, and then
It's not like we're buying shirts and pants where, you know,
yeah,
those are quite a bit different.
here's what just need to keep in mind on that is this, when we have a new employee come in, we buy them their new stuff.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That guns, whatever it is, we buy them new if we don't have any guns, and then of course holsters. And the reason why is we're hoping that lasts them throughout. And when they need replacement stuff, then that's when we go down to the quartermaster and pull out shirts, pants, and all that kind of stuff, trying to to say where we had some, money,
So-
for stuff at donation.
Look at the uniform line on that, and that's what was given to us at budget time. I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm just saying, it's down toward the bottom. Anyway, it's $25,000 is what was
Okay.
on there. Then for some reason, there's 1,000 over here, that's all that was shown to us.
Yes,
That's why
yeah.
we never knew any
Right,
different.
no, because I knew that, I can't think back in time to this
Sure.
particular thing, but I knew we'd asked for.
Well, and I just don't want you to think we're shortchanging you for no reason. That is literally what we were
That's what-
shown, what's in your
yeah.
right hand.
Yeah, no, that's no
So-
problem, because this is what was.
Right, that's
Okay.
that's what you gave the
Right.
auditor, and then.
And then
that's-
somehow that's what gave to
That's
us,
what we worked off
the
of.
change
I'm not,
of
I'm not,
paperwork.
I'm not
No
concerned,
worries.
you know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
Any other,
Best we understood, you asked for
That's not what I was gonna say. That's not what I was
Right,
saying.
no, I agree with that, I'm not,
That's not what
I knew
I'm
it was going more, but like I said, I didn't see the point, because that's the other thing. I've seen it, I couldn't prove, so.
no worries, that's why I just wanted you to see
No, you're good.
both sides of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on uniforms? All in favor of the 40? 7-0 on that one. And that will be for 40. And then the last one on this is the tires and parts, which may be the same type thing.
I just asked
And
her
this
for-
one, it was 50,000, that's what we gave was 50, and so 75 would probably, you think, get you through the rest of the year.
I hope,
So,
fingers crossed. I'll just be honest with you,
So,
uh,
sorry, we pulled it out, he had asked for 75, I don't know what's on ours.
Yeah, ours is 50 and we gave him 50, so I don't know where all that happened, but either way,
yeah, that's fine,
that's where we're at.
I'm just here asking for it now, that's no
I
big
get
deal,
it.
I'm not making an issue out of that.
Nope. What was you saying? Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
something, I cut
fingers
you off.
crossed, here's the problem we got is this, it's nothing new. We got a fleet that's wore out, you know, we just bought 4 Crown Victorias that was retired by another police agency just to have enough cars, you know what I'm saying, for folks to drive.
Okay.
I'm not pity, that's not what I'm asking for. But unfortunate thing is that because those cars are in such bad shape, for every car we have to keep another car on standby because they're breaking down so much. And we've got a lot of them, you know what I'm saying?
Which even
Hoping-
that, I think one of your brand new Fords in the shop too, isn't it? So
Yes,
you never
exactly.
know, you could buy a brand new one tomorrow and it break. We all know
Right.
that. They sure ain't like they used to be.
Well, that kind of leads into my, but go ahead there, cause I don't want to confuse that.
Okay, I'll get right back to you. 75,000 on the table for tires and parts. All in favor of that?
Can I just clarify, was that an additional 75?
So-
Or we bring you up to 75?
No, it's an addition.
It's an additional, but in reality, the 50 is all that was shown to us, but 75 is what he asked for in the budget on the other paperwork. There was just some discrepancy on it.
Right now, you're actually done overspent from.
We're already
50.
overspent, yeah.
So, basically, half of this is gonna go to what you overspent.
I'm not sure on that because
It's
D'Angelo would have to see,
33,000.
okay.
Well, that's what I said, basically half.
Any other questions, comments? All right, all in favor of the 75,000? Aye. Any opposed? No. Lindy, are you in or out?
Oh,
I'm sorry. You were
sorry, I was
talking.
good.
You're good?
Yeah, I
Okay,
was good.
sorry about
Sorry.
that.
We're able to get them other 3 that we were talking about, it's gonna help clear up a lot of this for next year too.
Yes.
Because you're not gonna have that wore out fleet. I mean, you're still.
Well, here's the
most
plan.
wore out.
We had a plan, we had a master plan for a rotation of cars. Where we're getting rid of them, where we've got some value still, and where the county can get some money back. We got stymied on that for different reasons, you know what I'm saying? This year, we was, hopefully was gonna get the 3 that I asked for with, you know what I'm saying, the ARPA monies. And then what I was gonna do was, I was gonna ask the commissioners, because our school cars now are 4 years old. So they're basically getting up there now, we're gonna be trading some of those, need to be trading them in. And I was gonna ask for the school, you know what I'm saying, for 3 more, and that would put us at 6, that would put us in excellent shape, is what I was hoping to do.
I don't think they're gonna help you.
School 3 cars. Does that make sense?
I don't know about
We're
that.
gonna ask,
Yeah.
Good luck.
That was the plan anyway, that was the plan anyway. Yeah, that's the reason why I asked, and as we bring this up, I don't know where that you're at on ARPA monies, I don't know what you've got left. But again, you know what I'm saying, I come to you with my hat in my hand saying, if we can advertise for 3 cars, next meeting I'll come back, I've got a promise from John Jones that they will honor. the bid from 2023.
Is that with the 450?
So we put that on the agenda for next month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my
Is this
only
number
issue with
with
it
the
last time,
four,
was the
whatever
length
that
of
the
the
commissioners want
bid
for the
and
building or
like,
you
wanting it a little bit
Yes.
more
Okay.
current.
So this
They've
is
on,
what we have.
I just got a new
And
one,
that's fine.
he sent to me
Because they
yesterday.
if we got that,
asked for an appropriation.
I'd support it.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean,
But they're still in the closing. This is what we would
Well,
have
what I
left
plan on
after
doing
that
is this, and
400,000
once
that
we
the
get
commissioners are gonna ask
up
for.
our fleet, then I can start getting rid of those cars, and my fleet size will just hopefully continue to shrink,
That's
so.
what'll be left.
That's what's left? Okay, if we do or if we don't.
after everything.
Okay, so that's plenty enough things, I was around 171, I think.
111.
111?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already got it written
I
up
mean-
for the advertisement.
Yeah.
For next.
I think that was.
The 111 was the
No.
Fords, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was different.
I thought he was like
So
one
it's
sixty-three.
52.
I think where you got mixed up is there was two trucks on one,
And
ordinance.
then another.
And then there was another, the Durango, they had to have separate, you guys
I
had to
thought
have
he was
separate
one
resolutions.
sixty-three, 168,
I can
somewhere
tell
in
you
that
exactly,
neighborhood.
cause I got it right here.
I'll pull it out of your memory.
Yeah. So
Is that
take,
what we're looking at next?
Can't remember that. So,
that was, if you can take 55,651. And then, times that by 2. And then add 52,472.
163, 774.
That's the total.
Yeah.
That's under me asking.
My memory ain't that bad, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Should just ask Nick to use a calculator back there.
Yeah, I should have.
Well, see what we can do.
And what I'll do is, like I said, I'll come back next month and I'll ask those after advertise and you know what they're for.
Yep.
So, and just to show you something here real quick, I know you're in a hurry, so I'll hurry up, but this is I get a daily update on our fleet. I get a daily one, you know what I'm saying, showing what we
What's the
got.
red?
The red stands for.
Sorry, I can't see it.
Part-time officer, here, I'll just give you the code of it real quick. Full-time officer, part-time officer, non-enforcement personnel, jail transport, pool vehicle, non-fixable vehicle, processing for sale. He's got them all color-coded, and when one falls into different categories, then they can move them, he moves them, yeah. So, and you can see right here at the top, this many on this list, from here up, from between my two fingers, it's over 100,000 miles. So, anyway,
You state to have another auction soon,
we just had one.
did you?
Yeah, a military auction we had, and then of course we throw all of our stuff that we have in the department into your guys' auction, except the,
I just need to read, it's at the health department, I know.
yeah, we just got those actually,
Oh, did you? Okay.
yeah, so,
All right.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate it.
thank you,
Have a good night.
appreciate it, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Kevin Hall here, or we got something from Kevin?
Andrew and,
Have a good night.
Andrew? I would entertain a motion to amend the agenda to move Andrew Campbell up next.
I'll make that motion.
John Miller with a motion, John Collins with a second. All in favor of amending the agenda to get Andrew up here, 7-0. Alright. Andrew, you're up.
Do what?
No, as long as it's unlocked, you can close it.
Never. I don't get to see you guys that much.
How are you, Andrew?
Good, pretty good. Want to pass these around?
Wendy, sorry.
You know, I get to see you guys if I need money or something, so.
We've noticed.
It's not been too bad.
I need a workman's comp form. Andrew stapled me.
Guys, this is Ross Wells from Civic Plus.
How you doing, sir?
Nice to meet everyone. Thanks for having me.
We're gonna go over a little demo over the website that been looking at.
As long as it's
If you hold
unlocked.
down the Windows K button.
You don't have to keep a physical door, but you just have to make sure it's unlocked and that access is granted. Good to know. So make sure it's open.
That little black note right there.
Yep. Put it up on the big screen?
Yeah.
God. You can be here every meeting. That book this one.
And I hope
Only when they
Andrew
ask
has
you
a soul
to
while we're
back
getting
and say
ready.
this is what.
Probably.
Other times, like, we're trying to figure it out.
What's that?
TVs.
No, website.
Website.
I thought it was like TV, man, I didn't know.
Try the Windows K again one more time, so it might have timed out, so
Did you
yeah,
send
go
it
ahead
to
and click it.
I just got the computer.
Was I right on time, or did you have to move stuff around? Maybe traffic can get a little crazy, people forget to drive in the rain sometimes.
It's pretty enough to drive all the time.
Gotta love technology,
So
right?
has this been through the commission yet?
Supposed to turn it off, turn it back on fast.
Did I miss it?
It's not your job, right? Just turn it on, turn it back on.
Oh,
Pretty much.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, please.
Actually, I can't see it.
Sorry, guys.
You spoke to me.
IT guys having IT problems.
I have the same problems, good job.
I told you we oversold you.
Something happened.
We connect all kinds of weird stuff and me and you try that.
There we go, reconnect. There we go, we're starting to come into it.
Just so you know, I don't look like that.
One more time.
Where's that number? I'll bring it back.
Where's?
Yeah, I didn't get a copy. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
I guess we could move to the line creation real quick if we wanna do that while we're firing this up.
It's all part of the same ordinance.
So,
It's, yeah, it's all on the same.
So, and just while he's working with that, I'm with Civic Plus. I mean, I'll give you the 30,000 foot view. We've been in business for 25 years. All we do is local government. We provide websites, other communication tools with the goal of helping communities connect with their residents in a seamless manner. So Andrew reached out to us. He was having some issues with the county website over the years. And this is kind of unique to core, so I can kind of rattle them off without looking at them. Back end is difficult to use, so trying to train new folks to update the site is near impossible. Really locked down on that back end, so if we want to add some new content, other than a few words here and there, you need to go back to core in order to get them to make those changes.
Yeah. Will that make it, like, I know, the ladies in the auditor's office have to upload minutes and things like that from our meetings, and then I think as a county, we would like to move towards live stream and things like that, so would that be able to facilitate things like that?
Yeah, so, I talked to Andrew about that. I think the decision was made to, to cut down expenses, right, stay with the, I think it's Facebook Live you're using now?
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. And that would fulfill that, that part of the state requirement that they passed, I think it was, last year. And, once we get up and running here, I'll show you how some of the other communities that we work with are handling that.
You need our Wi-Fi too.
I'm sorry.
You guys didn't have anything else going on today, did you?
And here we moved them up.
I know, right?
I specialize in brevity, so this will be very brief, and then I'll, really get into some questions. What I really want to highlight, who we are, and how, we've partnered, we've helped other communities.
Okay.
And I just told you that, so we'll skip to the next one. See, brevity. Current site designed by Core, formerly eGov. At Go Live, departments were responsible for updating, their specific section. Quickly discovered that no one knew how to really update it, and it just kind of steamrolled from there. Andrew's department, Andrew's having to pick up the slack on that. Really hard to train others to update that. Biggest issues we're encountering, new pages and sub-pages, can't build them. No content creator on the back end. That's when Core and Ego, they have to come in and do that creation. 20 steps to upload an agenda, that seems a bit much. Cannot link to social media.
Right.
Core charges for great content. Getting a few complaints from the residents about it's hard to find information. You know, some of the county officials have complained about this, right? More than likely, they're getting complaints from residents about it, so they're bringing it to the council, to the commissioners, and other folks. Did I miss anything, Andrew? Okay, excellent. So, like I shared, we've been in business for over 25 years. Currently, we work with over 12,000 communities within the United States. And that's the level of experience that we bring to every project that we take on. I think we can all remember the evolution of the municipal websites, right? The 90s basic billboard sites. Maybe there was some little bit of information, operating hours, phone numbers, things like that. Now, I mean, with technology increasing at the speed that it has, everybody expects that Amazon-like experience, even from local government.
That's about what we have now, ain't it?
Yeah.
Basic billboard sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, and like I said, this is not a unique situation. So what does that look like for the residents, right? It's personalized, one-stop, and frictionless, right? We're allowing you to meet people on their own time so that they're not, you know, cordoned in on that 8 to 4 timeline to get their county business done. So what does that look like for the resident? Easy to get things done. Once again, those self-service options, let them take a little more pride in their community. On the staff side, easy to get things done, allows them to work on more important stuff, and allows them to take a little more pride in their community.
So will citizens be able to pay their taxes on here?
How do you?
There'll link.
Yeah.
There'll be a link to the LAO software.
Yep.
Where they can pay taxes currently.
So would that be from the very beginning, the get-go, or would that be something different?
If this went live, the link in there would be there
Yep.
as soon as it went live.
Yep. Yeah, so we're looking at about, I think, what I showed you, about a 6-month implementation
5 to 6
timeline.
months.
At go live, yeah, that's, you know, Andrew and his team are gonna work with our team, and that's, you know.
So end of the year.
Yeah.
That's to get us out of the Stone Age.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. So we've also got some documented financial impacts here. You know, you can't see my cursor, but, you know, Scott County's up there towards the top of the list there, right? A lot of walk-ins, a lot of live phone, a lot of phone calls. Our goal is to bring you further down that list there. You know, allow them to do more stuff online, allowing them to save taxpayer money at the same time. You know, so how do we accomplish this? We've got a suite of solutions out there. Today, we're here to talk about the municipal website, but just know, should you need, you know, anything in the code enforcement or permitting, you know, department, you know, we've got you covered there, and everything seamlessly integrates. So right now, we're talking websites, but down the road, you know, should you need our help for anything else, we're there as well. Okay, that's it. I told you, short and sweet. So I just want to show you real quick a couple of our partner communities. You know, notice Brown County here. If you wait a second, these pictures change. They're utilizing our carousel function. Up here, search functionality. This only crawls the county site. It doesn't go out to Google or anything like that. So if I type in water, it's going to pull from agendas and minutes, the site, all that stuff. So is there something else? Oh, one more design feature here. Oh, yeah, sorry. Our goal is to allow citizens to find information in 2 clicks or less. These are our mega menus. You'll see these are on all of our sites. Allows them to just kind of hover and get to where they want to go. The other thing that we like to do is not all citizens know what department they need to talk to in order to get what they need done, accomplished. So we like to make it a little more citizen-centric as opposed to government-centric.
Now I see something on there that says GSI. Would that be like a link to our current GSI?
Yeah, like WTH.
Yeah, we can put a link right to that. As soon as I click that, it's straight to the map.
Yeah, and these are all customizable, so all the graphic buttons you see right there, not only are they customizable, but you can change them yourself, so.
Great. With like analytics too, we can see what's being clicked on the most and say, you know, pay taxes, that needs to be up there when tax season.
Yep.
Tax season's gone, maybe we can replace that with something else or something else that's going on too, so.
Elections, you know, right, we got an election coming up in November, you know, that's gonna get a lot more play, you know, in the months preceding that than it will in maybe December.
And what about like a content editor, like behind, you know, I know there would be more static pages that would not have anything that would be changed or moved like at the beginning, but like during elections and during, if there's any type of, increase on any type of bill or anything, that would be in a content editor, so you go in the back end.
That's,
Would you do that then?
that's the big reason I reached out to them, because of their content creator. Because the back end, you can actually just build a full page from scratch and create it to where you want to look at, import social media, import this, or your widgets and everything else.
It looks so bad when there's something that's like
Just stays the same all the time.
two or three people
Yeah.
left since that person left and it was still on there.
Yeah, it's so much easier to get to the back end to be able to adjust stuff and create stuff from scratch if you like.
Yep.
That's one of the big reasons I
And then
reached
you
out.
would do the editing, okay.
Yeah, and this can be set up in any way that you want, right? We can keep it so that everything flows through Andrew, or he can spread the love out to the departments. We'll get them all trained up so that on Go Live, they're able to create that content.
You are the IT team right now, aren't you?
I am the department.
No I in team except.
If you don't mind, there is one thing I wanna show them is agendas, meeting minutes.
Yep. So
You being able to,
So, yeah, so this is, Jeff County does a very good job with this one right here. You know, this is our agenda center module. Right, this allows them, also very customizable, you know, so if you have different committees that exist out there, you know, allows residents to come in. Let's see, we're with the county council today. Let's scroll down to you guys. Let's see what Jeff County has on the agenda. Just that quick, I can find that agenda, pull it up. The other neat thing, and I wanted to show you this because we were talking about that state mandate to live stream public meetings.
Yeah.
Not only is there a requirement to live stream, but there's also a requirement to archive those meetings. So what we'll see here, there are a couple different ways you can accomplish that. But right here, look at that, we've got, we link out right to there, so that helps you fulfill, or I'm sorry, that doesn't help you fulfill, that fulfills that requirement to archive and allow it to be easily accessible.
they stole our meeting LID, look at that.
Now, could you keep our OWL in the system that we have, and it would just be?
Absolutely.
So we wouldn't have to change anything?
Yeah, and
When does the live stream mandate start?
July 2025?
And I don't think it's a live stream mandate, I think it has to be recorded or live streamed.
And
It's recorded and archived.
Yes, recorded. or-
But I'm sure it'll change again before then.
Yeah.
They've already changed it
Yeah,
3
they
or 4 times.
changed
so.
it this
Last
last
session.
session, who knows?
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going live stream.
yeah, I mean, it's easily.
It'd take a headache off of you of uploading a video.
Yeah, so personal preference, right, some communities, they like to have full control, others, you know, want to utilize some of the tools that are out there to fulfill that requirement, so YouTube works perfectly fine. Let me see, is there anything?
So I guess the big question I would have, Andrew, is obviously we have opioid unrestricted funds for the initial startup.
Yep.
What do we do with the annual reoccurring?
The annual, right now, I'm paying $1,800 a year for eGov. What I'm requesting is for 25 and 26, the difference.
From the 18 to 52?
Correct. And
then
after those two,
5% goes up in year 2.
Yeah, there's an uplift of 5%, which is industry standard.
Sure,
Yeah.
I get it.
So I'll just requesting for help for the next 2 years, and after that, I take it all.
And that comes out of this amount, or this amount pays for it and you're.
That is the initial upfront and first year's maintenance.
Okay. So maintenance is this year also, or 25?
The maintenance is included in that first year.
Okay,
So when it goes live, the maintenance will.
just go then, and then, so we would just have to add the difference in your budget, and then you take care of it from there?
For the first 2 years, I'm asking you guys to cover that difference, but after that, I'll just take over, and I've got a couple plans to save a few bucks down the road, so I can cover it without additionals.
Does anybody else have any other questions for them?
Is this what you need?
This will be a really good investment for the county, not just for us, but for the citizens, big time. Big time. It's a good investment.
I didn't quite understand the money. You was talking about this 5205, that's the startup.
So initial is the 19,24308.
Okay.
That covers the initial cost and first year of maintenance and
Okay, I
support.
see that. I didn't see that till, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you now, I'm sorry.
You're fine. I think it'd be a good investment. Being able to throw meeting minutes in there too, and the agendas, and just having a really good running list. And can you, one more, if you got a second, bring up the calendar?
Oh, yeah.
So Miller, it'd be like $3,400
Yeah,
we would offset.
I just didn't see that, I was.
I got you, for the first 2 years, which it'd be a little bit more in the second. 'cause it'd go
Real
up
quick, so
$260.
Jeff County's embedded their social media. That's easily done through a link, through,
So Scott County Gov's Facebook page can be in there in the website also. The calendar is awesome.
yeah, so we have, each department have their own calendar. Everything feeds into the main calendar. You can pick and choose which calendar gets displayed. Very, very simple, very intuitive to use. And one thing I just kind of glossed over, I didn't mention at all, our Notify Me module. This allows residents to sign up to receive alerts on whatever topic they choose, right? So if we wanted to hear about, if I wanted to receive notices about county council meetings, changes to the agenda, location changes, anything like that, as soon as the person who is uploading the agendas publishes that, it automatically sends a notification to me. I can get those via email, I can get those via text. I can unsubscribe as well, so we're not blowing people's phone up.
This would be a continuation of ordinance 2024-33, which included the Vienna Fire Department. So in it would be, in the opioid unrestricted fund, a line creation and an additional appropriation for other services and charges in the amount of $19,243.08, which would be the initial startup cost. The only other cost would be the $5,000 after it goes live for the next year's maintenance, which would be the end of this year, maybe in the 25 budget.
It would be, so that second year, it would be after the first year.
So it'd be 26. If
it'd
you
be-
went live January 1.
It'd be 25, so let's say you signed today, right? So it's the 14th. You would be billed for that second year on the 14th of 25.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, I don't like the way we have that.
That's fine.
put that. It's just
Yeah, it
kinda-
was a little-
It's a little clunky.
It is, but that's okay. So I would entertain a motion to accept the $19,243.08 on ordinance 2024-33 out of opioid unrestricted for the county website for the IT department.
Second.
I'll make a motion.
Oh,
Lindy
I
did
thought
the,
that was
I got you.
Sorry.
Lindy with a motion and Diane with a second on that. Any other comments, questions? All in favor? 7-0 on that.
I'm sorry, I thought you
It's all right.
made the motion.
No worries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you driving down tonight, sir.
Absolutely.
And the only,
From Kansas, that's pretty good.
It's good to get out.
It is.
I don't get to do enough of
Be
these.
safe going back.
and I think the only other thing I had was the line creation for the transfer station. Professional service line creation for the transfer station.
I didn't see that on the agenda.
Is it not on the
I don't have
agenda?
that.
Don't we,
All I have is,
I think it's because we have
We
website.
had the equipment, but we didn't have professional services, I don't think.
It says website and then comma, line item creation, so I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe we thought it was for that.
You have to come back and see us next month.
Okay, that's no big deal. That's no big deal,
Is that
really.
gonna mess it up out there?
No,
He said it won't mess it up out there.
it won't mess
so-
nothing up. We'll be good next month, so,
Okay,
absolutely.
alrighty.
Alright, thank you all.
Okay. Next up will be, are we gonna push highway, or are we waiting on Kevin, or Jerry? Should be highway, come up here.
Wanna move on to Jeremy?
He's here.
So,
I'm trying to call Zach, cause I got questions.
okay, we'll hold off on it and do EMA.
Well, part of mine also is with Michelle, so if you don't mind, we'll.
Yeah, you can come up if you want.
We don't have anything.
They have everything.
We've got a total of 4 grant requests for you guys.
Nice.
3 of them are EMA only. One of them is a combination of EMA and the clerk working together. First off, I'll give you my 2 that I'm going to say, I'm sorry. I have applied for them already. If I didn't apply for them, I could not get them.
Okay.
And I have received one of those is $5,000 from the railroad for our drone project. I now have the funds to buy one of the drones that I'm trying to get grant money for 2 of. So there's that one. The other one is $3,700 from CEAS to get the remote application on my signboards. That way, we can use them at the fairgrounds, let them know when the parking lot's full. We can change the sign, instead of park here, parking lot full, don't park.
That's the one you pull behind your.
I've got the 2 that I pull behind my trailer or my truck, and then I also have 2 that I set up on signposts as well. So those are those 2, which I've already applied for. Like I said, I got the 5,000. I'm just waiting on the check from the railroad currently.
So,
I appreciate
I would
it.
entertain a motion to accept the grant request application for EMA on 2 grants, one from Railroad in the amount of $5,000 and one from CEAS in the amount of $3,700. Both have been approved by the Board of Commissioners.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Jonathan White and John Collins with a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor? 7-0 on that.
I'll do whatever I can to get grant money, so.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
I also have to go to a training soon, and, I got the state to pay for my hotel bill, so. We don't have to worry about county tax dollars going for that hotel stay for my training. Next up, she was asked to apply for the, election securities / crowded spaces. Found out that's part of the grant that I apply for. If she would have applied for it by herself, I would not have been able to apply for my side.
Okay.
But for the EMA side, I can apply for 2. So we're gonna work together on that one, and then I am also going to apply for one. Each grant are up to $150,000.
So on these, there's 2 grants, one in conjunction with the Scott County Clerk's Office and EMA, the second one for EMA from, what is
It's
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
Department of Homeland Security, federal.
Okay,
It's federal money, but it's through the state
So
agencies.
this 150.
up to 150,000 in each grant, and they are reimbursable grants, which would, if approved, we would have to set a budget for, set the money in there, and then reimburse as it's used. So,
The one for Michelle, we're gonna work on security for elections, physical security, barriers, upgrading her computers that are,
The pull pads.
pole pads that connect to the internet so that they can upgrade, possibly some cameras, remote cameras, cameras for the courthouse, upgrading some of that.
Putting actually what's called the sheriff, back into the polling locations, we took that out, so there's a position, press this off.
reimbursable,
They're out, nope, 100% free money.
100%, yeah, reimbursable
State,
grants.
federal money.
So, any other questions from council on the 2 grants? All in favor? Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need a motion to accept.
He makes a motion.
Alright, Jonathan White and Miller with a second. Now, all in favor of 7-0 on that.
And there's 2 pages on mine.
It's just her copy and my copy.
Thank you guys for working hard doing this.
Yeah,
I told the commissioners when I took this
That's
job that
Jeremy's copy. to
I
sign.
know that, I will need
Copy.
to get grant funding just because of the shape the county's in, and I'll do everything I can to go out there and get it, because these are my first.
I think she's gonna make copies.
Okay.
So,
Very much appreciated.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Nick, you wanna jump up while we're waiting on something on highway?
I'm here, either way.
Your turn.
Your pleasure.
Sheriff, be careful of that big red.
Now it's empty, thank goodness. Now it's empty, put it that way.
You want him to hold your Red Bull?
Huh?
I can manage.
Well, keep quit.
I saved a lot of paper just for you.
Thank you, I
You
appreciate
only have
that.
3 sheets.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
You killed less trees this month.
I told him.
Eventually, I'll just have Andrew put on the TV.
There you go.
That's just cause he wants to build a building, so it's finishing off the trees.
I'll save a little wood. First things are financials, as always. I want to hit on that a little bit, just because I'm thoroughly pleased with where we're at after a third of the way through the year. So in April, we finished at 164,860. Training is currently at just shy of 17,000. Paramedics just over 37,000. That brings our third of the year through at 800, just shy of $860,000. That puts an income projection of 2.2. Current cash ledger balance is 917,000. After this Friday's payroll, we'll be down to 860. But just wanted to let you know where we're at financially a quarter way through the year, and where we're sitting, and all of that good stuff. We had 404 runs in April. Breakdown is there, and the community paramedicine, we had a little over 60 runs as well on top of the 404 runs, so we did just shy of 470 runs total last month. Any questions about any of the financials that you have your breakdown for on the second and third page as well? You can see our tracking. We did get our Medicare reimbursement in April for just shy of 35,000 as well.
Are you gonna try to keep that from here to after the first of the year?
I would like to. Funding is kind of where I'm at. I've been talking to Brittany. We've kind of been brainstorming with what she's got going on. Ultimately, it's her decision with what she does with that. We did a breakdown of cost of running it full-time versus what we're doing now. The unfortunate part is, even with benefits, it would be cheaper for me to run it full-time because the amount of overtime, literally every hour we run it is overtime for someone. They're making, $38 an hour, to where if you just put it at a $20 an hour position, 40 hours a week, it's gonna be cheaper than running 212 hours at the overtime, right?
Direction you're
For me, being self-sufficient, I don't think I can support what we need to do as a service and support that service as well, because we're looking at about, with benefits, I think we're at 152,000 for the year. Equipment wise and stuff, my lines wouldn't go up significantly much. I think we've probably only spent like $2,000 in medical supplies for it. So it's like those expenses wouldn't be bad. That's something I can absorb into my budget for sure. But being where we're at with the payroll and all of that, I don't know that I would be comfortable bringing on what we need to concentrate on for the service, which I do think it's a good program, but I don't know that I can carry on another 160,000 in payroll. I might be able to get some. I don't know that I would sit here and confidently say I could fund it all by myself, no. I think it's a good program. We have people reaching out still, every week we're seeing, 60, 70 people a month. And that's only running 2 and 3 days a week, so it's a good program. But like I said, Brittany had approached me from the health department with what she's got going on. I gave her the numbers of what I felt
will be needed, and it's up to her. Like I said, I've offered to kind of help with vaccines and all that stuff during certain times of the year through that program to get to people who can't commute and certain things, so we'll see what happens, but, yeah, even running 3 days a week right now at the overtime rate, it would be cheaper to go 2 full-time people, even with benefits, so that's the unfortunate part.
Appreciate it.
No problem. But yeah, the breakdown there, like I said, our projection as of right now, obviously anything can change. Last year we ended at 2.1 million, right now we're projected to hit 2.29, so I'm pretty happy with that. Runs are gonna be projected to be up 8% from last year though as well, so that's obviously part of it. Any questions that I can answer for you guys on any of that? Questions, concerns, or comments?
Thank you for what you do, it looks good.
All right.
Coming in.
I've got 3 bullet points on here. 2 are advisory or informative only. I believe after talking to Heather in the auditor's office, one of them requires your action either way tonight. We can hit on the one that requires your action tonight, and then I can explain the other 2 things. The one that requires your action tonight, if you so choose, is the one in the middle for the building proposal back in April 3rd, I believe it was. Yes, April 3rd. We had approached, the commissioners wanted me to see what it would cost to protect the ambulances instead of being out open to the elements. Back on April 3rd, they approved to not exceed 51,000 between several vendors. It's not one vendor that would be doing it, so it would be a conglomeration of the 3 vendors to do that, and I do not remember what fund they requested that out of.
So that would be on ordinance 2024-37, and it would be coming out of the opioid restricted fund to capital outlays in the amount of 51,000, and then, like he said, I think the commissioners agreed that would be the cap they would go to, and we have resolution 2024-6 pertaining to certain funds of the opioid abatements, and Scott County EMS falls in that, and it's signed by all 3 commissioners to approve the use of 51,000 for investment in infrastructure to house ambulances to respond within the county, provide care to patients, provide connections to recovery and treatment services for individuals suffering from opioid use disorder and other related disorders. I would entertain a motion to accept the ordinance number 37 in the amount 51,000. Lindy with the motion, John Collins with the second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor? 7-0.
Thank you. The other 2 things are mainly, I guess, advisory would be a good way to phrase it. First one is the commissioners approved the purchase to continue on our rotation of an ambulance. That will come out of our fund, not tax money. It's something that the service will pay for. Just wanted to let you know that budgetary item will be in our budget next year, so we'll see an increase in my budget because of that loan.
This year was approved this year, correct, but it won't be ready till next year, so the loan won't be till next year, you won't know the interest rate, you won't know.
Correct.
Cause it's such a long build-out time.
We can actually, and I did bring
So
some
you
of
can't
this.
appropriate this year.
Even if they decide, I've got some financing options here, even if we, if you guys so choose to pick one of these options, it goes into escrow and the payment is deferred until we receive it, which would not be until 2025. And there's no interest while it's in escrow. So, those options are there. Obviously, we checked with the local bank, the interest rates were around 7 to 7.8%, through the local bank. The 2 options, or 3 options that I have here, on a 3-year, which I can't afford, to do, would be 104,000 a year. A 5-year would be 66,000 a year, and the interest rate's at 6.46%, and that's through the selling the company that I'm selling them. That's their in-house financing. There's another option that we reached out to. Kaylin had reached out to them, that in the talks with the vendors, they recommended this place, and their interest rate is at 6.19%, They're out of Tennessee. Their company's called Tax Exempt Leasing, and that payment would be $33,637 semi-annual, so it'd be $67,000 a year.
You could break that into 2 payments like what we had talked.
This is one of the 2 payments, so I would make 2 $34,000 payments a year, and that's what I'm doing now, is I'm making 2 $40,000 payments a year.
Gotcha.
My budget for this year already had the truck payment that I'm making on, plus the purchase of that vehicle. So for me to take this, it's only a $15,000 increase in my budget. It's not the full $75,000 because of the vehicle that we bought and paid off, and we won't have that expenditure next year. So it's only an increase of $15,000 for me on that side. But again, comes out of 1151, not general or lit or any of that. It's out of our fund. So just wanted to let you know that appropriation will be there in a debt service for 25. If you would like to, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I've worked with Nick, and we've fully looked at every possible scenario with his 1151 fund, from worst case of, you know, the bottom falls out of everything until best case, and all throughout, and he's well funded for it, so there's no concerns there in 1151.
I would have to take a 50% hit on the income next year to utilize 85% of my cash reserve.
Yeah, yeah.
Is where we're at. Because like I said, I've got 900 and some thousand in the bank right now. I'd have to, you know, only make $1 million next year instead of $2 million, and I'd still have a little money left in the bank.
The commissioners can't sign a contract right now because
I'm confident we'll make more than $1 million next year unless something catastrophic happens. So if you would like to act on the lease thing so we can at least secure this interest, or we can wait, that's up to you.
we can't sign a contract, the commissioners have to.
Okay, well, if you would like to recommend me to take something to the meeting tomorrow, I'm indifferent, like, I had played around with the idea of just paying it off, but then I'll take my cash reserve from 900,000 to 600,000, and then I don't know.
The terms of payment are really up to the commissioners, we just find where we're gonna take it from. So I think the advisory
We're taking it from 1151.
Right.
Which I think
That's our only job.
my support would be with that version there, the 6.1, that's a good interest rate. So.
Okay, and then just so you guys know, the total purchase price of the ambulance is gonna be around $284,000.
And this is 6 months out before you ever get it?
This is June of next year, we're a year out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's on a demo.
That's a demo delivery. If we built the spec, we're looking at end of 27.
More money too.
Oh, yeah. So, and just for full transparency, I do not project, so don't hold me to this, timestamp this time. I don't project to order a truck next year for 26. I feel like we're gonna be okay next year. You know, unless something catastrophic happens. So just wanted to give you a heads up. If we do, I would like to pursue a remount over a full purchase, unless right now the gap between remount and new are narrowing. Like right when we quoted this, there was only a $30,000 difference between remount and new. So it's getting out of hand. At some point, they're gonna price themselves out of the market, and we're all gonna be driving around in station wagons, so. But the other thing I have to discuss, any questions about that? Are you guys good with sending along?
We can't really, because it'll be in next year's budget, so.
I guess just know
all
that
we
there's
would
gonna
say
be an
is,
expense.
yeah, we would support you doing that.
The other thing, this is partially my fault, and I'm gonna take ownership of that. Not that it will change this outcome, I would've just liked to know a little sooner ahead of time. The PMs for our monitors are up at the end of this year. We were under a contract for PMs for 5 years. And I don't wanna say this year, it's actually the beginning of next year from when they were purchased and started. But this is the last year of PMs. That means we have to go either on a payment process for monitors, or we have to buy new monitors and get the payments incorporated in them. I'll be going to commissioners tomorrow, right? I'll be going to them tomorrow to discuss it, but that expense will also be there regardless of whether we do a PM contract or we go with new equipment. Just for idea, PM contract's gonna run us about 70 to 78,000 a year. Equipment's gonna run us between 80 and 115, depending on what we go with. it's a lot, but again, I got with Deandra, even with that truck loan, I will be able to
Handle it.
have this and still have $500,000 in the bank account at the end of the year, even if we plateau this year.
And you're already scheduled to go to the commissioners.
Yeah. Which way are you leaning, the maintenance or the new?
What's that 5-year mean, Nick, you said?
So the yearly, the 78 is yearly, and that can be adjusting depending on the market. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm paying for, I will say, disclaimer, there are companies out there that can do it cheaper, but the problem with that is they either don't repair, they'll just say, hey, this needs fixed, and then I have to send it in for repair. Or if they do repair, it's not with manufacturer parts, and I don't support that idea at all. So with this, that would be, like, next year would be 78, the next year could be 78 again, it could be 92, or it could be 20, that fluctuates. But what it is, it's for them to come in maintenance, repair, replace, screens, defibrillate, like the entire thing.
I understand that, but the 5-year.
The 5-year would be, if we do new equipment purchase, it would be paying that amount for 5 years with 7 years of coverage on PM. So that means we pay for 5 years, but we have 7 years of coverage on the equipment.
So the new is really the better.
Long-term, yes,
Long-term.
because I'm paying not even $10,000 difference for a new warranty, because these will be out of warranty.
For 2 more years.
Yes, so this equipment's now out of warranty in 25. So the PM thing would still be there, but these would be under warranty then for 5 years, and then we would be PM'd for 7.
It's kind of the same thing I talked to Andrew about. He's got a bunch of computers that are in the same boat. If we buy them, they're pretty much outdated the day you buy it, so it almost makes more sense to sign a long-term agreement, since we know we can't function without these, and move on with the bill.
And this isn't a piece of equipment we'd like to have, this is a piece of equipment we're required to have.
Right.
But again, I'm confident 1151 can fully support it. Don't need general money or tax money or any of that for it. But I just wanted to let you guys know this expense, one way or the other, is going to be there. And that would be another debt service that's going to be coming next year, whether it be the contract way or the equipment way. But I also wanted to kind of get your not an approval, support, recommendation of what you would be more comfortable with me paying, or if you're just like, make the best decision that I feel is right. I don't want it to turn in what it was a couple of years ago, so that's why
I think
here with full intentions of having the conversation.
My opinion would be, you have to have it.
$2,000 more a year for 5 years, you're gonna have 2 years, you're not having.
Right. Same way with computers. There's no point in buying
You're
them.
not gonna be out front.
Plus you got new radio. Plus you get new radio.
Monitors, yes.
I don't really like upgrading computers, just like the computers I use at work. You know, you update them 3 or 4 years, and then you start having little glitch problems with them and stuff. You replace them. I sure don't.
Yeah.
So, I would lean to go new on the lower end. You know, I would say that the higher end obviously has some cool features and stuff, but the cool features aren't a necessity, it's more of a want. And I think, to remain somewhat fiscally comfortable, I need to make the best fiscal decision over the best want decision, and I think I'm gonna have to stay in the lower echelon of price for the equipment. That doesn't mean it's any worse than what we have. Newer technology, newer equipment, but I don't think it doesn't do anything different, except it's under warranty and it's brand new versus, you know. And the problem is, the older that this equipment gets, the more that PM contract's gonna cost, just because the older it gets, the more problems that it's gonna be prone to have. You know, if you buy a car, it comes with a warranty. You try to buy a warranty for a car at year 5 when yours is expiring, it's not the same price as it was 5 years prior. And that's essentially what we're dealing with right now. So, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Obviously, the decision will be made by them whether they enter into a PM contract or a purchase. Sure. That expense will be there as well next year on top of the 2 trucks. And I just wanted to let you know.
Appreciate it.
Is there any discussion or questions I can answer on any of that, or any way that you don't like, or anything that you would prefer? to know that you're funding, or you're letting me fund, I guess.
I think we're good, I think you gotta have them. If you have to have them, it's kinda like computers, we gotta have them. The best fiscal option we can take is the route we would go.
Thank you for your
sir.
time.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Is that not supposed to be shut?
Last thing on here is,
It's unlocked, as long as it's unlocked, or people have access, you can.
do we get any answer from the highway thing?
Have you ever been to Fort County?
No.
They have a locked door, but you gotta have a button to get in. You can, they have to come have the sheriff
Yeah.
unlock it every time.
Highway.
I'm so sorry. No, okay, so the interlocal that was on for the highway department, I talked to Mr. Stewart because I had some concerns. And really what Mr. Stewart told me is that's a working document, it's not ready for us to review yet. My concerns were things like there's no amount in there, there's no who's gonna title it. So I think they're still working on that. What Mr. Stewart said to me was, they're still working on it with Jefferson County, it's a living document, they're still working on the terms. So it'll be something like what Mr. Hall, advised you guys last time, that, you know, Jefferson County will own part of a chip and seal system, we'll own part of a chip and seal, and what those amounts and who's owning what is gonna still be determined. So when it's finished, I think they'll come.
So for tonight, I would entertain a motion to table that for Kevin Hall.
I'll second.
You get that Miller and White. Any questions or concerns with tabling it? All in favor? 7-0. Deandra, do you wanna take the, or I'm sorry, you know, however, whichever one of you two, the exempt salary increase?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So, you should have a packet there that I provided that has, the letter, we received notification that, Department of Labor has released its final ruling raising the salary level threshold for exempt employees. There's gonna be 2 incremental changes, one effective July 1, 2024, and then one January 1st, 2025. Essentially, the Fair Labor Standards Act provides an exemption from both minimum wage and overtime pay for certain employees. And so what I've done is I have looked at our 2024 salary ordinance, and determined of that, which ones that are exempt employees and what the impact would be as a result of this Department of Labor change that is being made because of the Fair Labor Standards Act. In 2024, the salary increase, so in the Excel spread, well, not Excel, but in the spreadsheet that I created, the left-hand column is the impact for 2024. The overall dollars for 2024 is not as significant. It's $11,000 increase in salaries. It's basically 3 chief deputies that would be impacted, assessor, clerk, and then treasurer. And what I've also done is underneath that dollar value, I've placed the number of overtime hours that would have to be worked to equate to that dollar value. So you have a kind of a comparison, something to compare it to. Because we have, you know, there's 2 things that have to happen, or 2 things that can happen. We either increase the base exempt salary, or we make the decision that we're gonna move them to hourly, and then they are subject to overtime and, of course, other benefits as well, like comp time and things like that. So again, the effect for 2024 is slight, 11,000. The 2025 is where it really hits. That is a very significant increase. So you can see that for 2025, the total is about 123,000. Now, what that 123,000 does not take into account is 2 things. When we would make these changes, you now will have chief deputies and elected officials making the exact same pay. Currently, that's not how we have it stratified, right? It also doesn't account for, so since Jen and I both have HR responsibilities as well as commissioner and council responsibilities, right, or we have an extra pay, this does not include any kind of change in that. This is just bringing everybody to that base, okay? So that needs to be considered as well. I also included in that 2025 information about the overtime hours that would need to be worked in order to equate to that total salary increase. 600 hours of overtime. So, for example, 600 hours of overtime for myself, if I was the auditor chief deputy, would be what would be required in order to get me up to that $18,000 increase that it would take to equate all this out. So that's 12 hours of overtime per week.
I think we've got it.
I think we should be there.
Is that a technical term?
So I guess my question would be, is this something we should maybe entertain a joint meeting with the commissioners and work this out? Because it's not really just this board deciding to go one way or the other. We would need their support in the same way they would need ours to go, so maybe maybe in June, we schedule that and then we could get this enacted whichever way the county decides before it's July 1 deadline.
Yeah. And this was, I just wanted to bring it to your attention, give you the information
No,
ahead of time.
I appreciate it.
Digest and understand all of that, so.
When does the 2024 go into?
July 1st.
That's what I say, we're on the top of June now, so
I'll be on vacation.
we'll FaceTime.
Barring no,
I've done that before.
there could be industry interruption that changes it,
Right.
things like that.
Do you wanna just, what's easier, check with them, set a date and email it out, or, I mean, it's no easy way to coin toss a date for everybody.
I will,
I think,
how about I coordinate with Heather, Zach, you, and Mike? And then we'll coordinate times that way?
is everybody good with that, maybe, cause we're gonna have to have both boards to agree to make a change.
As long as it's the end of June.
End of June?
Can't be the end of
Maybe the third week, maybe the third week of June, or the first week of June.
Do you want to say that again?
The first, third, because I won't be gone the second week of June.
Oh, we're going on vacation at the same time.
I think it would have to almost be the first, so we could get to the meetings to get it approved,
What
right?
we're gonna have to do is we're also gonna have to do a salary ordinance, right? So this is,
And all that'll have to be advertised.
or not
in
do a
time.
salary ordinance if we choose to leave it at hourly, because we already have the hourly rate. Yes.
But you're gonna have to look at a calendar and see what would leave you enough time
From the meeting.
from the meetings to
Yeah.
advertise, cause you need 10 working days for that, right? Yeah, which is Friday. Next Friday.
Which will be long.
I don't know, why don't we do that email chain? Get us in that and then I can send it out to everybody and we'll go from there. But I think that's the only way to work through it is get us all in one room and figure out which way we can go. Again, the most fiscally responsible way for the county. So, I can't really tell Department of Labor no, so. That's not an option.
No, it's not often at all.
Right.
Not today. So, appreciate it, DeAndre. Anybody have any other questions on that before we move on?
So is this gonna fix this salary ordinance for the very last time? We've been working on this since October, are we not? done
This is
yet?
something new
Well,
from
this
the
is-
Department of Labor.
And the
This
answer is no, because it'll change in 25. If, it depends on which way we go as a county, and that's what I said, but no, it's probably not gonna fix it once and for all, because we're gonna have to revisit it, which, for the department heads, that's confusing too, because mid-year, we may be changing salaries. Consideration of minutes.
I do not have the current ones, but I have the budget ones that were passed out last month,
Okay.
so.
So I will entertain a motion to table the current minutes, and Jennifer's still working on that. Miller and White, all in favor of tabling? 7-0 on that, and then we have the other ones to sign before you guys leave, along with the resolutions and things today.
Yeah, so I have to copy and everything, but it's the ones that we passed out the last meeting.
Good.
Did they approve them in the last meeting? You need approval tonight.
But yeah, they'll have to prove it tonight.
We didn't approve, okay.
No.
We had time to read them as we did, took them home.
I got you. So the consideration of the budget hearings that we took home, it was September, October, all through all the budget sessions, there was many of them, but I would entertain a motion
We
to
approve the
accept.
minutes for those
John
days.
Collins with a motion to approve,
I second.
John Miller with a second. Any questions or concerns regarding minutes? All in favor? 7-0. Alright, any other business? council members? No,
We adjourn.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
John Collins and Johnny White, all in favor? 7-0, adjourn.